My name is Melanie and I am a mother of two little girls, Emily and Lucy, but I'm also an emergency physician. Lucy was about 5 months of age when Colin started complaining about some back pain. So I took him up to the emergency department. Whilst we were in the department, he was diagnosed with metastatic bowel cancer. And our life was thrown into complete and utter turmoil. And all of a sudden our life just was consumed with cancer. It was chemotherapy, daily radiotherapy, and at the same time I was looking after two little girls. It was about 17 months from diagnosis until death, and managing the grief of children as well as my own grief. There were multiple issues and I felt at times really stretched of having two small children and being a solo parent. But we suddenly turned the corner and things started to improve, and Emily started school and then Lucy started kindergarten, and I really felt like we were moving forward. And then Emily became unwell with what I thought was a virus. I took her straight to our local laboratory. She had some bloods taken and I got a call from a laboratory technician who said, her blood film has come back and she's actually critically unwell and it looks like she has leukemia. And once again, I was put in this position where I was completely blindsided. And for the second time in only a matter of years, I'm having been told that the person I love most in the world has cancer. What do I do? So I actually rang a friend of mine who's a paediatrician and he said to me, well, you need to take her up to hospital, Melanie. And I was like, okay, well, that's what I need to do. But I said, but the girls are in bed asleep. And he said, Melanie, you've got to wake them. I was completely floored about what I had to do yet again with a family member who had cancer. I thought Emily was going to die, and I thought that I was going to have to deal with a second death within the family. And I wasn't sure just how much strength I actually had left in me. I had the children I had always wanted, and the partner had been taken from me, and now I was possibly going to lose my child. But there was also part of me that was an emergency physician and thought, well, we've got this diagnosis, we need to now get on with it and we need to start things. And I was very eager for Emily to commence treatment because I knew how critical things were. She had about 10 months off in total while she was receiving her chemotherapy, but at the stage where she reached maintenance, she was able to return to school. And I actually think that's where things started to unravel. She started to get a bit angry. She started to become really emotionally labile. And one of the counsellors at school rang me and said, have you heard of an organisation called Red Kite? And I said, oh, they're the red bag. And she said, well, actually, there's so much more. They offer a counselling service. And within 24 hours, Sarah was on the phone to me asking me about my situation. I was able to be vulnerable with her and tell her that actually things aren't great at the moment. And she was a safe place in order to be able to verbalise that. And things started to get a little bit better. Things were less volatile. The anger started to dissipate from Emily, and the flow-on effect was that I was starting to settle and Lucy was starting to settle as well. Emily was the person with the illness, but here's the thing about childhood cancer. It's not just about the child who's affected. It's a family illness and it affects us all in very different ways. In hospital, they do a really good job, but there's a gap. And Red Kite fills that gap in that they're able to support the entire family. Knowing that that unconditional lifeline is still there for us is a little bit of peace of mind.
Social work is really, really important for our families. I think we provide a service which is open, working together with families that have been through significant tough times when their child has been diagnosed with cancer, but also siblings of the child. We're able to help them as best we can. So a counselling service offered for these children, but also for the families and the siblings is really, really important.